this kind of transitions me into talking more about what you're doing now with your nutrition. And whoever's following you should be aware of the fact that you are currently on about like what, 5,000 calories a day. Am I mistaken?
Yeah.
So let's
I,
talk about what does it really take to build muscle? Does it really take 5,000 calories? Talk about why you're going through that approach and a little bit more about your building phase right now.
yeah. So first off, I'll say like 5,000 calories is not necessary for everyone. Absolutely. Like people need to understand that I am 115 kilos at 5'11". So if you are 82 kilos at 6 foot, like 5,000 calories is going to affect you substantially different than it would me. But talking about bulking in general and sort of what my objective is here, I do plan to compete in the end of the year. And that only really gives me a total of around 5 months to
Yeah.
grow, to build as much muscle as possible. Now, a very common mistake people make when trying to build muscle is trying to tread this line around maintenance and establish these very small surpluses to do
Hmm.
like the lean gaining approach.
Yeah.
Now, people need to understand that our maintenance calories is a very fluctuating figure.
Yeah.
Like people always ask me, like, what's my maintenance? And it's like, you want a number? Like,
Yeah.
because let's just say like the average for you across like a week was 2,500 calories. That is going to fluctuate anywhere between 18 to sort of 3,000 calories on a day-to-day basis. That is a known fact. That's just going to be based on how you trained that day, how you slept, how you moved around, what was the temperature of that day, and just general variations in metabolism that do happen on a daily basis. So when you start considering that, it's like if I'm giving myself a theoretical 200 calorie surplus here, there's going to be a lot of days where I'm probably not actually in a surplus. And to me, for someone who's only got 5 months to grow muscle, I don't want
Yeah.
wasted days. I don't want days where I'm not growing muscle. So, yeah, I don't want to tread that line because if you try to tread too closely, you're just going to
Yeah.
be missing out on days where you could potentially be growing. I'd rather make damn sure that I'm on the positive side of
Yeah.
that line. So every day is going to be, I'm sure that I'm in a surplus and I'm providing all the adequate nutrition to stimulate muscle growth as much as I can. Now, this sort of ties in closely with another really common problem with bodybuilding and trying to gain muscle is the unpreparedness to be able to incur some body fat gain.
Yeah.
Now, working as a coach, you're probably the same, Maria. Like, still, one of the most common requests I get when I look through their goals and the initial inquiry is, I want to build muscle and lean up. It's like,
You
well,
can't
it's
do
not going to
both at
happen.
the same time
You,
efficiently,
you
unfortunately.
can't. Yeah, it's like if you give me a year and a half and we compare from start to the end of the year and a half, sure. But in the 16-week program that you're signing up to, no chance. It's not going to happen. And people, it's a problem because people just assume that you can lose fat and build muscle at the same time, or build muscle with zero fat gain coming along with it,
Yeah.
and it just doesn't happen. And this is a problem because people start their bulks or their muscle gain phase, and then they see a little bit of fat come on, and they're like, oh, like I pushed things too far. I need to do a mini cut. And it's like, geez, like every mini cut is just putting on the muscle gain brakes. And
Yeah.
I see people like having 3, 4 mini cuts a year. It's like, damn, you're just shooting yourself in the foot because muscle gain happens so slowly. And there is a energy surplus requirement on a
Yeah.
day-to-day basis, but there's also a consistent time basis that's required. So
Okay.
you need to be in a chronic surplus for an extended period of time if you want any chance of building muscle that's going to stay. Because people who are doing these 8-week bulks and then 6-week cuts to clean up the body fat, it's like
Yeah.
you've got no new muscle by the end of the mini cut. It's like you need to be in that surplus for months on end, at minimum 4 months, I would say, before you're even at any consideration of sort of trying to clean up some body fat. So I just wanted to make that point that yeah, 5,000 calories is a lot, but don't think that like I'm not gaining body fat off that. Like there is some body fat that comes along with it, but it is a necessary part of the process. If you're not gaining some body fat, you're not going to be gaining muscle either.
And you can talk about this since you definitely, I don't have any male clients. I work with just female clients, and I think I see that they struggle a lot. And one of the things is I had this one client with me. She's like been with me for years. She just adores working with me or adores me, who knows. But one of the things was convincing her to commit to a bulk and to build, right? And that was like the hardest thing for women. Like women just struggle to put on body fat. They're always like, small waist, big butt, like no gaining any body fat around the mid. Unfortunately, if you want to look quote unquote toned, you got to go through that uncomfortable period. And one of the things that really helped was for my clients to see me do it. Where, when the pandemic hit, my shows got canceled. My coach was like, you know what? Let's stop risking and prepping you for shows that might not happen. Let's commit. Let's commit to just building,
Mm,
right? And there was a solid 7 months of just eating, right? To the point where I started getting uncomfortable in my body, but it was necessary not only for my metabolic state so that I'm able to increase my maintenance intake and my metabolism, but to build. And building muscle takes such a long time. Like I've been lifting heavy for so many years and I'm not walking around here jack like Arnold. Like it takes time and it takes that discomfort. And as women, and if you're an aspiring coach who is going to be coaching women, you could talk about how it is with the males that you coach. It's important to be there for them mentally, right? Because there are going to be the days when they're going to text you 3 weeks in and be like, yeah, no, my pants are fitting a little tighter. I can't do this. And it's like, okay, but what is your goal, right? If that's your goal, you got to keep reminding them that that's what's necessary for growth. It's necessary to be uncomfortable for a little bit. And you know what? Thick season is always the fun season. You get to eat all the fun foods, have all the energy to train and push your strength, right? Deficits, they're in my eyes, they're easy because you're just, restricting whatever, but it's like, your energy drops, everything drops,
mm.
right? Flourish when you're fed, right? And you got to accept the fat gain. I like thick season. Thick season's fun season.